Commanders, get ready, because what you're going to hear today will completely change your perspective about this season. I've been following this team for decades, lived through the Dan Snyder years, endured the Kirk Cousins you like that moments, celebrated every small win like it was a Super Bowl, and I'm telling you with complete certainty, what's happening in Ashburn right now is historic. Adam Peters isn't playing the NFL game like other general managers. While Jerry Jones clings to his 90s glory, while the Eagles are panicking over Jalen Hurts, while the Giants still don't know what the heck they're doing at quarterback, we have a GM who's playing three-dimensional chess. I have three pieces of news for you, and when you finish listening to this, you'll understand why I say this organization finally knows what it's doing. A trade that at first you won't understand but will blow your mind in the end. A rookie free agent who's about to make history in this league, and a ranking that confirms what we all knew, but no one dared to say. If you think you knew Peters' plan, you're completely wrong. If you thought we'd seen all the talent on this roster, you'll be in for a surprise. And if you still have doubts about where this franchise is headed, after today you won't have any. Stay until the end, because I need you to tell me in the comments if you're as excited as I am about what's coming. Because what's coming, family, is something we haven't seen in Washington for decades. Brian Robinson Jr. is no longer a Washington Commander. That's right, Commanders. Adam Peters just traded him to the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for a 6th-round pick in 2026. And I know some of you are thinking, what the heck is Peters doing? But let me tell you why this is the smartest decision he could make. First, let's talk about respect. Brian Robinson Jr. will forever be a legend in Washington. The guy who survived the shooting, who came back to the field like a warrior, who gave us hope when we had nothing else. When he was running behind last year's disastrous offensive line, when he was carrying the team on his shoulders, we all felt like we finally had someone who understood what it meant to be a Commander. But here's the reality many don't want to accept. Football is a business, and Adam Peters is running this business like a professional. Jakori Merritt, our 7th-round draft pick of 2025, has been absolutely dominating in training camp. And when I say dominating, I don't mean he looks good for a rookie. I mean making plays that veterans with years of experience can't make. This guy has a combination of speed, field vision, and ability to break tackles we haven't seen in Washington for years. Internal team reports indicate that Merritt is not only impressing in practice, but he's also completely forcing Dan Quinn and the offensive staff's hand. When you have a 7th-round rookie making your established veteran look expendable, you know you found something special. And you know what's the smartest part of this move? Robinson is going to Kyle Shanahan's system where running backs historically shine. This isn't Peters throwing Robinson to the wolves. It's Peters finding the best possible situation for a player he respects while doing what's best for his team. But here's the real brilliance of this trade. And this is what separates Peters from other GMs in this league. He's thinking about 2026, 2027, 2028. That 6th-round pick isn't just another pick. Peters is systematically accumulating draft capital. And I guarantee you he's planning something big. Remember when the Patriots dominated the league for 2 decades? How do you think they did it? Accumulating picks, making seemingly minor trades, building depth at key positions. Peters is following exactly that philosophy. And here's the part that excites me. Peters isn't making these decisions out of panic or desperation. He's making them from a position of strength. When you're confident in your scouting, when you know you can develop talent, you can afford to make moves like this. The Miami Dolphins were also in talks to acquire Robinson, and this is where the story gets even more interesting. If Robinson had gone to Miami, Ollie Gordon II, their 6th-round rookie, would have completely lost his chance to prove his worth. Miami is desperate at the running back position. Alexander Madison got injured in preseason against Chicago. Devon Achane is dealing with a calf injury. Jalen Wright has leg issues. Basically, Gordon is the only healthy option they have. But you know what's the craziest part? Gordon has led Miami in rushes, 18, and yards, 83 during the preseason. With Robinson out of the way, this rookie has the chance to establish himself as a real factor in that offense. And why is this fantastic for us? Because it shows that our organization no longer makes decisions based on sentimentality. Dan Snyder would have kept Robinson for the public relations, for the emotional story. out of fear of fan reaction. Adam Peters keeps Robinson if he produces or trades him because he has something better. Period. There's no politics, no dramas, no emotional decisions costing us entire seasons. This is what it means to have a world-class professional organization. While other teams cling to the past, we're building the future. If Robinson's trade surprises you, get ready because this story will blow your mind. Jakori Brooks, an undrafted free agent that absolutely no one had on their radar after the draft, is one performance away from securing one of the 53 most coveted spots in all of American professional sports. And let me tell you this is the essence of Burgundy and Gold at its finest. This is why I love this team. This is why we never ever lose faith in this organization. Let's go back 4 years. Jakori Brooks was one of the most promising stars in college football. The guy had it all. Height, athleticism, soft hands, the ability to make difficult catches. College scouts were convinced they had a future first-round draft pick. But what happened? Life happened. Injuries came, his performance fluctuated, the numbers weren't consistent. Suddenly, first-round projections turned into second round, then third that might get picked, until the whole draft went by and no one called his name. Can you imagine what that does to an elite athlete? Can you imagine going from being the next great receiver in the NFL to getting phone calls from teams offering you undrafted free agent contracts? But here's the beautiful part of this story. Brooks didn't give up. He signed with us as a free agent, came to Ashburn with something to prove, and from day one of training camp, he's been making plays that established veterans can't make. When Brooks arrived here, the wide receiver depth chart seemed completely set. Terry McLaurin obviously on top as our undisputed WR1. Deebo Samuel Sr. secured as a reliable veteran. Drafted rookies Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane already have virtual spots guaranteed just from being drafted. Then you had veterans Noah Brown, KJ Osborne, and Chris Moore occupying those depth spots every team needs. Michael Gallup joined the group later, bringing experience from Dallas and established veteran credentials. The most realistic scenario for Brooks was securing a practice squad spot, developing over a season, maybe competing for a position the next year. But you know what's happened these months during training camp and preseason? Brooks has been making plays McCaffrey can't make. He's been running more precise routes than Gallup. He's been showing speed and separation that his 4.65 second pro day time at Louisville definitely didn't reflect. I believe the scouts completely missed it with this guy. 4.65? Please. What I'm seeing on the field during these preseason games is a receiver creating natural separation, exhibiting exceptional hand-eye coordination, battling for contested balls like his life depends on it. And you know the biggest difference I'm seeing? Brooks is fully healthy while others are falling to injuries. Noah Brown got injured and has been out of practice. McCaffrey hasn't had the expected impact in real game situations. Gallup, after arriving with high expectations from Dallas, has been disappointing in the opportunities he's had. And who's been consistently available, making plays, showing improvement every week? The rookie nobody wanted in the draft. This Saturday against Baltimore is his last chance to seal his fate. The Ravens will put their best defenders against him because they know this is a crucial evaluation game. If Brooks can keep doing what he's been doing, creating separation against quality coverage, making catches in traffic, contributing significantly on special teams, Adam Peters will have no choice but to include him in those final 53 spots. And you know what's the most exciting part of all this? Brooks represents exactly the type of mentality this organization needs. Hunger, determination, the ability to turn doubts into motivation. While other teams are paying millions for veterans who have already hit their ceiling, we're developing future stars from scratch. The Eagles paid a fortune for A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. And yes, they are excellent players, but you know what's more satisfying than buying established talent? Developing your own talent, finding hidden gems, building a culture where players like Brooks can flourish. And when you thought we were done with surprises, here comes the news confirming everything we've been saying. Jaden Daniels is ranked number 21 in the top 100 NFL players for 2025. Listen to me, because this isn't just another statistic or a symbolic recognition. We're talking about a quarterback entering his second professional season and being ranked among the top 25 players in the entire league. Do you realize how historic this is? When was the last time we had a quarterback with this kind of universal recognition in Washington? I'll tell you when. Never. Not even in the golden years with Joe Theismann, nor during experiments with Jason Campbell, Kirk Cousins, Robert Griffin III, or any other quarterback who has worn Burgundy and Gold. Let's go over Daniels' rookie season. Numbers, because they're absolutely insane. 3,568 passing yards with 25 aerial touchdowns and a 69% completion rate. Those numbers alone would have put him in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. But here's what drives me completely crazy. 891 rushing yards, leading the entire team in that department. 6 additional touchdowns with his legs. This guy isn't just a quarterback. He's a complete offensive threat, redefining what it means to play the position in 2025. Do you realize what that means for our offense? Opposing defensive coordinators can't merely game plan against a traditional pocket quarterback. They must account for 11 offensive players capable of doing damage, including Daniels running designed plays, scrambles, and RPOs that can explode at any moment. And you know what's the most incredible part about this top 100 ranking? It wasn't ESPN analysts who placed Daniels at that position. It wasn't sports journalists chasing clicks or generating controversy. It was his own peers, veteran players from across the league, the guys who have to face him twice a year if they're in the NFC East, the defenders who must try to tackle him on Sundays. That's real respect, Commanders. That's recognition you can't buy or manufacture with PR or media campaigns. When Von Miller, when Khalil Mack, when the league's best defenders vote for you to be among the top 25 players in the sport, it's because you've earned their respect on the field. But now comes the real challenge, and this is where we separate good quarterbacks from legendary ones, avoiding the sophomore slump. CJ Stroud suffered it brutally last year in Houston. After a spectacular rookie season, defenses adjusted, found ways to neutralize his strengths, and Stroud struggled to maintain the same level of production. It's not a coincidence. It's not bad luck. It's the natural developmental cycle of young quarterbacks in this league. Defenses will have more tape on Daniels now. They'll know his tendencies, his preferences in pressure situations, the routes he prefers against certain coverages. Defensive coordinators like Vic Fangio, Robert Saleh, and Sean McDermott will spend the entire offseason studying ways to neutralize what makes Daniels special. But you know why I'm confident Daniels will overcome that challenge? Because his skill set is fundamentally different from other young quarterbacks who have struggled in their second year. First, his athletic ability is generational. They can't take his speed away with game planning. They can't eliminate his ability to extend plays through defensive coaching. Those are physical tools that will remain no matter how much tape defenses study. Second, his mental processing is already at an advanced level. The quarterbacks who struggle in the second year usually do so because defenses confuse them with complex coverages and creative blitzes. Daniels already showed last year he can read defenses post-snap, make real-time adjustments, and make the right decisions under pressure. Third, and this is crucial, he has the perfect offensive system to maximize his skills. Cliff Kingsbury isn't trying to turn Daniels into Tom Brady. He's building an offense that leverages his mobility, his strong arm, and his ability to make plays outside the structure. But now comes the part that's worrying and exciting at the same time. Terry McLaurin is still negotiating his contract extension. Terry's been the heart of our offense for years, the most reliable player, the go-to guy Daniels has used in tough situations. If McLaurin doesn't get the extension he deserves, if we end up losing our established WR1, that'll put immense pressure on Daniels to elevate the level of the receivers around him. With Brian Robinson Jr. already out of the team, with uncertainty in running back depth, with potential changes in the receiving core, Daniels will have to prove he can be the kind of franchise quarterback elevating players around him instead of relying on them for success. And you know what? I'll believe he's ready for that challenge. The Eagles thought they had the future of the position resolved with Jalen Hurts, but look how their last season ended when the pressure increased in playoffs. The Cowboys continue to bet on Dak Prescott and his well-documented limitations in high-pressure games. The Giants still have no idea what to do at the quarterback position after years of uncertainty. And here we are with a 22-year-old quarterback already among the top 25 players in the entire NFL according to his own peers. This isn't a coincidence, Commanders. This is the result of years of suffering as a fan base, of right decisions in the front office, of finally having an organization that knows how to identify, select, and develop elite talent. When Daniel steps onto the field in week 1, he won't be just another young quarterback trying to prove he belongs. He'll be a top 25 player in the whole league with legitimate expectations of taking this franchise to places we've not been in decades. But you know what excites me most about these three pieces of news when you analyze them together? They aren't isolated moves. They're part of a coherent philosophy Adam Peters is systematically implementing. The Robinson trade shows Peters isn't afraid to make tough decisions when he sees superior talent available. Brooks' rise shows this organization has the infrastructure to develop players other teams overlook. Daniel's ranking confirms that when this organization identifies elite talent, it knows how to maximize it. This is the difference between a franchise reacting to circumstances and one controlling them. For decades, Washington has been reactive, desperate for quick solutions, making panic moves, betting everything on declining expensive veterans. Now we have an organization that's proactive. Peters is building depth at every position, developing young talent, accumulating draft capital, and making decisions based on data and professional analysis instead of emotions or media pressure. Do you realize that while other division teams are panicking, Eagles worried about Hurts, Cowboys clinging to Agent Core, Giants completely lost, we're in the best position we've been in decades. Now I ask you this, Commanders family, are you seeing the pattern here? Are you understanding the magnitude of what's happening in Ashburn? Peters is moving pieces like a chess master, seeing 10 moves ahead. He's finding elite talent where other GMs don't even look. He's building a culture where players like Daniels can not only survive but dominate from their first professional day. Do you think Brooks will make the final roster after his performance against Baltimore? Personally, I believe he's already done enough to earn that spot. But I want to know what you think. Do you think Daniels can not only avoid the sophomore slump, but leap into MVP conversations? Because I'll tell you this, if he maintains the progression he showed last year, if he continues building chemistry with his receivers, if Peters gives him the right tools, there's no reason why he can't be in those conversations. Are you ready? For a season where finally, after decades of mediocrity, we have all the pieces aligning simultaneously. Established franchise quarterback, competent front office, coaching staff understanding how to maximize talent, and an organizational culture rewarding merit over politics. Let me know in the comments which of these three news excites you the most. If Robinson's trade worries you, or if you trust Peters' vision, if you believe Brooks can be the next big find for this organization, if you think Daniels is ready for the definitive elite leap, if you believe Peters is building something truly special in Washington, like this video right now, if you're ready to be part of this Burgundy and Gold family, no matter the circumstances, subscribe. Because I guarantee we'll have more explosive news about this organization tomorrow. This community is growing exponentially because we understand something fundamental others don't. We finally have a world-class organization making consistently right decisions. Be part of this family because together we'll celebrate not only what's coming this season, but what we're building for the next 10 years. And never, never forget, hail to the Redskins, hail victory. Braves on the warpath, fight for ODC.